Walaikum salam.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good, by Allah's grace.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your name, sis?
My name is Tawana X.
Can I have you spell that?
That's Tawana X.
Thank you. I have a few questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
The first is, how or when were you introduced to the Nation of Islam?
I was introduced to the Nation of Islam in early 2017 by a coworker and friend of mine. Just in casual conversation, I was reading, I like to read, and I was asked, had I ever read Message to the Black Man? And I was like, nope, never heard of it. And so my friend bought me Message to the Black Man, as well as To Fall of America, and How to Eat to Live 1 and 2. So I started reading the book. And I played peekaboo with the book for about 5 months because it was something I had never seen before. So that was my initial introduction to the Nation of Islam.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Thank you. The second is, what made you join the Nation of Islam?
After reading the book, but I hadn't finished the book, but after reading it for about 5 months, I asked if I could come to a meeting. And the first time I came to the meeting, I brought my daughter. And it was intriguing. It was, I had been in church all my life, but it was just different. And at the end of the lecture, the minister said, do you believe what you heard is the truth? And I raised my hand, my daughter raised her hand, and then he asked the question if you wanted to learn more and to join. I didn't stand up at that time. Even though during the whole time he was speaking, it was like I knew it was the truth. But I don't know, it's just I didn't stand up. But by Allah's grace, my daughter was with me because she stood right up. She popped up actually, and she gave me the courage to stand up because she had this look on her face like, what are you doing? Why haven't you stood up? So I'm glad she was with me because I don't think if she was with me, I'd have had the courage that first time to stand up because in my mind, I was already having a fight with myself of why do you want to stand up? So I'm glad that she was with me. So that's why I initially stood up in processing. I joined probably about 16 months after I initially stood up in processing, and just going through processing and coming to the lectures and coming to the different classes on Wednesdays and Fridays, it was just, I started getting answers to questions I hadn't even asked. It's like you don't know you're empty until you're filled up. It's like someone offers you a meal and you say, oh, I'm not that hungry, but then you ravage the meal. It was like my spirit had been longing for something, and it was just like a warm blanket. Like I finally felt as if I had been searching. I didn't know I was searching for an identity that I didn't know I had lost an identity. I only knew what I knew. But it's like once your eyes are open to the teachings, it's like you learn so much about who you are, where you come from, in relationship to God, being the second self of God. That was just profound. And just to start looking at lectures and reading the Quran and reading the books and grasping just the power in that, it gives you a sense of power yourself, power and control over your life and what you can create in your life, and not just being a victim of society, but knowing that you truly have power to change and do and be anything you want, because the essence of God is in you, and you are God. So just that alone, it just makes you stand up a little straighter and walk, with your chest out like you're proud.
Yes.
It was a sense of a feeling that I had never had before. So just with the teachings, that's what made me finally register and join.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you. The third question is, how has the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad impacted your life?
It's impacted my life in just every area of my life. You think of spiritually, knowing my relationship to God, not feeling like it's just some far off story that has nothing to do with me. I see myself in the Bible, in the Quran, in the bigger picture of things that I didn't see before. It was as if I was an outsider looking in at something that had no relativity to my life. And now I understand, and I'm growing more in understanding of how much it has to do with me. Emotionally, a sense of pride and a sense of knowing my identity, not listening, not under the false pretense of what this world has told me I was, and dealing with myself, learning to love me in a different way, and being able to look at my brothers and my sisters in a different light and know that the condition that we have been in has been by design. And so knowing that I can look past the condition and see the God in them, because I've been taught to see the God in myself. So it has impacted my life with how I look at my children, how I can see just who they are, my purpose of being their guide here on earth and in this life, and my responsibility, not just taking care of them, but my responsibility to teach them what I didn't know about God, about who they are as Black women. And it's just made me a better person. It makes me want to be a better friend, a better daughter to my mom, and just in general, a better person.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. The last question is, what does the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan mean to you?
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he gave me a path to a life I didn't know that I wasn't living. I have been existing. I didn't even realize that I was just existing. But now I'm living a life of purpose. And it gives me hope for my children. He gives me hope for my children, that through me, they can see something different, that they will not just exist like I had been, but through seeing me live a life, that they'll choose to live the same life that I have been given an opportunity to live through the path that he's given us all through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.